Hello, welcome to the Double Take Review. My name is Andrew. I am joined by Miguel as usual. Today we are going to be taking a look at Cities Skylines, and you may be wondering why. Yesterday, as of today's video releasing, was the first day of Epic's 15-day Christmas giveaway. They're going to be giving away a free game every day, and it is our duty. We have signed up for this to review every single one. Isn't that right, Miguel?
Yeah, wait, I don't know about a duty, but we've opted to do it.
Yeah, no, it's our we signed a contract, and if we don't fill it out, then I think we're gonna get got, as they say.
That sounds like you forged my signature.
No, I would never do such a thing again. So, Cities Skylines is a game that came out in 2015. It is by Colossal Order and Tantalus Media, published by Paradox Interactive. It was released on PS4, PC, and Xbone. So, Miguel.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
To sum it up really quickly, it is not surprising to me that this was published by Paradox.
Does in your view, does Paradox have like a history of excellent games, or is it just the style of game it is?
Oh, it's it's kind of the format, right? So you've played a few Paradox games, right? Crusader Kings. Have you played Stellaris?
I've attempted to play Stellaris. I wouldn't say I've played Stellaris.
Pretty much built around setting things up and then waiting for them to happen in the beginning before you know what you're doing.
I feel like this, more than any other of their games I have played, is the antithesis of this. Unlike games like Crusader Kings or presumably Stellaris, there is no combat in Cities Skylines. There is no super real-time element to it. Granted, everything is happening in real time, but when I say real time, I actually mean along the lines of Age of Empires or real-time strategy type stuff.
Right, it's a lot like a RTS, except slower. There's all these delays that happen. So you saw, we were streaming over Discord with each other. You saw how I was basically just waiting for money to come in to be able to build new structures that would benefit the city. And that's basically how the game is. You manage a city, which I understand could sound very boring to some people, but it's pretty soothing.
It's one of those types of games and genres that, if you just write it down on a piece of paper or say it out loud to somebody, it sounds like it wouldn't be fun. If you actually explain what The Sims is, I don't think that many people would be like, oh man, I really gotta go play that. But, The Sims is gigantic. It's one of, a classic game.
You always hear about the wacky stuff that you can do in The Sims. It's never about, oh man, my Sims got married and had kids. Oh.
So this was my very first city builder. I've never played one before. I never did SimCity growing up. The closest I could think I've ever come to anything like this is I played Roller Coaster Tycoon as a kid, which I don't think is in the same ballpark really, but
it's really similar because you just have different analogs, right? So in a city builder, you have to manage, power, waste management and whatnot. But in an amusement park simulator, like Roller Coaster Tycoon, you have to manage enjoyment, food. I'm not sure if Skylines ever gets to a point where you actually have to manage the amount of restaurants there are in your commercial areas. Thank you. So it's there are very much direct comparisons you can draw between the two.
I will say, as someone who's never played in the genre, someone who's not familiar with the genre, it is surprisingly easy to jump in. I will say that's a bit of a problem with me when it comes to Paradox games. When I wanted to start playing Crusader Kings, I literally had to watch hours of tutorial videos just to actually get started. I imagine Stellaris is much of the same, whereas this, you almost get it right away. There are bars and you need to build more houses or you need to build more economy, and you can make certain choices on what laws your city has, and just super simple things, but it comes together really nicely.
Yeah, this is as far as organic flow, like what is intuitive to pick up. This is definitely ahead of Crusader Kings and Stellaris. I would say Stellaris fits somewhere in between the two, but leaning closer to the Crusader Kings level of like complexity or what's the word? Obtrusive? No, not obtrusiveness. Obtusity? I don't know if that's a word. But yeah, picking up Stellaris is somewhat intuitive because it's much more direct. Picking up Crusader Kings is absolutely impossible to
Yeah,
do any sort of guidance. I mean, there is a tutorial which will basically get you on your way, but you still won't have any confidence that you know what you're doing
yeah.
for a
So
long.
I'm pretty confident in saying that if you're not a complete dumb bird like me, you will pick this one up pretty easy if you're into this style of game. That being said, I can totally see why this wouldn't be someone's style of game. If you're looking for a story, you can't find one here. Games like these sort of build the narrative as you play, like you create the narrative. There isn't really one for you. There's no arch nemesis. You're literally just building a city.
You are fed feedback from people in your town and whatnot, so there is a bit of a narrative, but it's right, like you said, it's very procedural. So it just kind of comes as you make developments, whether you fail or succeed. People will tell you whether you're doing a good job or not, which is somewhat helpful in actually playing the game.
Absolutely, because it guides you. It's like, oh, our electricity is not doing very well. Okay, well, now you know you either need to build more lines or make sure the line is connected, or possibly build another plant if you get like that big or far into it.
Whenever you check out your utilities, there's like it changes the map view so that you can see what is being properly supplied and what isn't.
Beyond the gameplay, which is pretty excellent, the graphics are totally fine, or the visuals, I should say. There's a really nice cinematic camera if you just want to kind of overlook your city. The music is nice. It has really nice swelling moments in the OST from the different orchestral tracks. It's a good time, and for anyone who added it to their library from Epic, I don't think you'll be disappointed if you're into this kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely not. It was very notable when it came out for being like a SimCity killer, and I think it's very well earned because the game works very well. The routing for your, like when you're making roads and power lines and whatnot, it's all very visually what's the word? Understandable. You know, it conveys what's happening, and there's little prompts that tell you why you can't do the thing you're trying to do.
Yep, I did accidentally build a road through someone's house. That was the only time someone got really mad at me while I was playing. But you know, it's all good. With this kind of game, there isn't a ton to say other than that it's really good. With all the games we're going to be doing in this series, obviously because we are going to be getting them out day to day and trying to keep up with the schedule, obviously we aren't going to be able to put a ton of time into these, so I guess ratings subject to change, but for now, I do believe I feel comfortable giving Cities Skylines an A.
I don't want to give letter grades because of how little we get to play these games, but I will say if you're looking for a game to chill with, then you should try this out.
Alright, well, that's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and until then, bye.
Peace.